contestant is Maddie Morton.
I've been to the Mountaintop, the last speech given by Martin Luther King Jr. Something is happening in Memphis. Something is happening in our world. And you know, if I were standing at the beginning of time with the possibility of taking a kind of general and panoramic view of the whole of human history up to now, and the Almighty said to me, Martin Luther King, which age would you like to live in? I would take my mental flight by Egypt and watch God's children in their magnificent trek from the dark dungeons of Egypt across the Red Sea, through the wilderness and on toward the Promised Land. And in spite of its magnificence, I wouldn't stop there. I would even come up to 1863 and watch a vacillating president by the name of Abraham Lincoln finally come to the conclusion that he had signed the Emancipation Proclamation. But I wouldn't stop there. I would even come up to the early 30s and see a man grappling with the problems of the bankruptcy of his nation and come with an eloquent cry that we have nothing to fear but fear itself. But I wouldn't stop there. Strangely enough, I would turn to the Almighty and say, if you allow me to live just a few years in the second half of the 20th century, I will be happy. Now that's a strange statement to make because the world is all messed up, the nation is sick, trouble is in the land, confusion all around. That's a strange statement, but I know somehow that only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. And I see God working in this period of the 20th century in a way that men, in some strange way, are responding. Something is happening in our world. You know, several years ago I was in New York City, autographing the first book I had written. And while sitting there autographing books, a diminutive black woman came up. The only question I heard from her was, are you Martin Luther King? And I was looking down writing, and I said yes. The next minute I felt something beating on my chest. Before I knew it, I had been stabbed by this demented woman. I was rushed to Harlem Hospital. It was a dark Saturday afternoon. That blade had gone through, and the x-rays revealed that the tip of the blade was on the edge of my aorta, the main artery. Once that's punctured, you're drowning in your own blood. That's the end of you. It came out in the New York Times the next morning that if I had